workers in Kebbi State. Good governance ensures that workers' rights are protected, including the rights to fair wages, safe and healthy working conditions, and freedom of association. These and many more are what workers in Kebbi State, led by the governor, Comrade Dr. Nasiru Idris, are benefiting.
I have been working with the state government for over 11 years so far.
I met with a worker in the state, Lukman Umar. He told me that life has become better for workers in the state.
The experience has been a very wonderful and exciting one because we have a listening governor, a governor that is connected to his people, that is always responding to the needs and aspirations of his people of the state. Right from inception, this is the era that we can say has been the most insightful era for all the civil servants in the state. Like I always said, he has been committed and the most friendly governor in the state. If you look at the antecedent from these 2 years, it has been a wonderful one. Wholesome implementation of civil servant salary, state and local government, seasonal distribution of palliatives, despite we are all government workers that are earning on a monthly basis, but you always include workers in all of his humanitarian and philanthropic activities. Workers are not far left behind. The promotion and implementation of civil servant promotion, it has always been a very good experience for all the workers. And that is why we used to say that he is the Mary and Messiah of the Kebbi State right from its inception because of his performance so far.
Barely 2 years after his assumption of office, Governor Idris has built a new secretariat to house all the workers in the state.
Looking at the beautiful wisdom structure erected, looking at the facilities, equipment, and everything that is well fixed in this new ultra-modern secretariat. So left for the civil servant, if it is for their wish, they may come resume work here because we can't wait to come here and start to enjoy our friendly working environment, start to put into function the modern equipment and facilities that is fixed in this ultra-modern secretariat for enhanced and efficiency service delivery in the state.
To be frank, in the past, we believe that a teacher cannot rise to the rank of a director or a permanent secretary unless those with some godfathers. But today the story is completely different. When he came in as the governor, he appointed 4 classroom teachers to the rank of permanent secretaries, 2 females and 2 males, from classroom to the position of permanent secretary.
According to the state head of service, the new secretariat can accommodate more than 25,000 workers.
The secretariat is expected to house 25,000 workers. That he promised and delivered within less than 2 years. Apart from that, when he came in, most of the position, permanent secretaries, chief executive of parastatal, most of these are on acting capacity. And this gentleman, when he came in, he said he don't want anybody to be staying in the office under acting capacity. He told me to bring them, and all those that were on acting capacity, give them permanent appointment. In these 2 years, he is the first governor to implement 75,000 minimum wage. He's the first governor to do that. In some ministries, there are people who call casual workers. The governor extended his hand on them. He said he don't want anybody to be serving under casual workership. So he just told me to just write their name, raise a memo, send to him, and give approval. They are now permanent workers.
Since his assumption of office, Governor Nasiru Idris has implemented several worker-friendly policies and programs, such as the creation of the Ministry of Establishment, Pension and Training. Others include provision of international training for doctors, veterinary doctors, and laboratory scientists, and improved welfare for workers in the state, like the implementation of 75,000 naira as the minimum wage and elongation of teachers' retirement age from 60 to 65 or 35 to 40 years in service. The governor has also ensured regular payment of salaries and pensions, up-to-date payment of gratuity to retired civil servants, and mass employment of teachers and nurses.
There was a problem before he comes in. That was pension of 17, that is 17 and 18. That is 2017-2018 pensions were not paid. And once he comes in, he asks us to re-verify them, and which he paid them all. And there was a problem of 2012-2013, which was not addressed before he comes in. But presently, he has taken care of that. That is 2012-2013. He has now put them into a reality pension. Unlike before, they were paid half of the money. But his inception, he looked into that problem and he solved it. Yes, we are doing fine since we were given our gratuity and pension when it dues.
For workers like Lukman Umar, they are excited about the future of work in Kebbi State, led by a teacher, trade unionist, and now the executive governor of the state.
Able to say much of what has been our experience under the present leadership of His Excellency Dr. Comrade Nasir Idris Kaurangwandu, that is the executive governor of Kebbi State. He's a unionist, he is a leader, he is a mentor of workers, of our labor movement in Kebbi State. I want to believe his experience in labor movement has helped him to change so many narratives in workers' life experience in general in Kebbi State. To start with my own constituency where I lead as a leader, in health sector in particular. Since when he came on board to date, almost about 2 years, he was able to absorb into state civil service almost about over 800 nurses and midwives in Kebbi State. You may wish to ask, our listeners may wish to know, how did it happen? It is not a rocket science. Vividly, I can inform you authoritatively, no single indigent of Kebbi State who is a nurse or midwife sitting without having an employment. They are being given automatic employment. We have our indigent nurses and midwives who graduated from another neighboring state.
And he has been paying the minimum wage, the gratuity to civil servants as at Wendy. As I'm talking to you, I'm part of the committee that checks, the final committee that checks the retirement benefit of all the civil servants. The moment we check and see those that have been underpaid, we upgrade them to the table, the amount that is supposed to be paid. And if you are being overpaid, we also check and slash it. We bring it back to this table you are supposed to receive. So we do that every month. And if we finish, we send our report to His Excellency via the office of the head of service, which he approves, and it will be paid. As at now, there is no civil servant or any retiree that is owing the state government a penny. He pays us at when the moment we finish that, we send it to him, he approves it.
On the Profile Interview segment this week, I was speaking with His Excellency, the Governor of Kebbi State, Dr. Nasiru Idris. It tells me what it takes for an average state government to ensure that it has a transformative agenda for workers in its state. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Your Excellency,
Yeah.
the first time I'll be speaking to you since you assumed office, but not the first time that we're having a conversation with you.
Yeah.
I spoke to you last when you were the president of Nigerian Union of Teachers and deputy president of the Nigerian Labour Congress. So I would like to ask you, a teacher, a trade unionist, and now a governor, what does that feel like? What has been the drive so far?
Well, I can say all is good because the experience that I gathered when I was the president of Nigeria Union of Teachers, the largest trade union in Africa, and also the deputy president of Nigeria Labour Congress. I didn't find it difficult when I resumed office as an executive governor of Kebbi State because I have started leadership before I assumed responsibility as a governor of Kebbi State. And you can see the Nigerian Union of Teachers. They have about, between the government on schools and the private schools, about 12.something million. And the Nigerian Labour Congress has about 20-something thousand workers under its affiliates. So I didn't find it difficult. What I did there when I assumed office, I just continue. It's not new to me to be in the hands of peers of leadership. So that is why I was able to achieve all these things that I have achieved within in less than 2 years. Honestly, and we operate an open door administration like we are doing in the labor movement. Our doors are always open. And we open government so that our people, our commissioners, advisors, members of the assembly and so on can be able to reach our grassroots people so that whatever problem they have, those can listen to them and bring it to us. We'll look at it and do the needful. So honestly, I'm the happiest person. I didn't find it difficult to operate as a governor.
Okay. Owing to the fact that we know that your experience over time leading the forefront in terms of workers and some other businesses, we would like to ask, generally, when it comes to leadership, people have high expectations. And so far from my own observations going around Kebbi State, we can't say you've fallen short of that. In governance, especially in Nigeria, or even in a state like Kebbi, we know that the welfare of workers is very important. And when it comes to the issue of minimum wage, we know that it's one topic that workers do not joke with. A few months ago, you approved 75,000 naira as the new national, as the minimum wage that the minimum that an average Kebbi worker should earn. And I'm aware that what they earned before now was 18, not even 30,000. How were you able to meet up with this wage bill?
Well, when I came, I put a committee to study all these things. And the committee comprised the representative of the labor and the government. They sat down, they looked at all these gray areas, and they came up with a table. And as a labor man, I know what it means for government and the labor to agree. So initially, the labor movement sat down and came up with their own table. The government representative also came up with their table, and they put it on the table and they extract it. So they came into conclusion that let them adopt labor table. So they brought the report to me. I look at it. And in order to show leadership by example, being a labor man, and I want my workers to enjoy that minimum wage, because I should be seen being in the forefront of governors that will be among the 5 governors that will implement the minimum wage, being coming from that extraction. So I directed that the head of service should, and the Ministry of Establishment to write a memo, and I have done the needful, and I have directed for the implementation of that 75,000 minimum wage for all categories of workers in Kebbi State. And we have implemented, our workers have started enjoying it about 4 or 5 months ago.
When it comes to gratuity, it's a big topic, but since the pension reform, many state governments and business owners actually misunderstood what the law says as regards paying gratuity. I am aware that you're paying gratuity and you are up to date. I don't know if you would like to share from your wealth of knowledge as regards why it's important for government and private businesses to actually pay workers gratuity.
Well, what I understand is, you see, gratuity is a right of a worker after serving meritoriously maybe for 35 or 40 years. And you are expecting to have a solid money that at the end of the day, if you don't have a house, maybe you can be able to buy a house. If you have a house, maybe you want to invest that money, you will be able to invest that money so that it can start yielding something for you so that you can be able to take care of your family. So here in Kebbi State, I can recall some time back, the previous government doesn't pay gratuity in block, because that time there is a problem of finances. And when we came, we said that no, what we're supposed to do is to ensure that every worker who retires go with his gratuity in bulk, so that at least even when we leave office, that worker will say that during our time, he was able to get his gratuity in block and they invested it, or he bought a house so that he will have shelter with his family. So that is what we have been doing. And by God's grace, we will continue to do that.
But generally, not just as an executive governor of Kebbi State, with your experience in labor or trade unionism for over 2 decades, what's the impact of paying gratuity? If a retiree leaves service without gratuity, how would the person's life be?
That life will be very miserable, honestly, because if you are right and you are expecting after finishing your service, you will get all this thing. If you didn't get it, that is why you see in some states or maybe in some federal organization, they have been having a running battle with the pensioners, because they will say that they are not being paid for so years. But morally, a worker after retiring, he should be getting his one. He should also get his pension, monthly pension, which here in Kebbi State we don't play with. The day that we are paying staff worker salary, that is the day that we are paying pension. And every person, even our workers who died, will make sure that it will not exceed 1 week that will pay off their death benefit. So we are trying to ensure that we do the needful by ensuring that, because if you didn't pay a worker after he have retired, you didn't give him his, that is when you are now putting him in a very bad situation, he and his family, because he rely on that money. If he didn't get it, then he will be in problem. So that is why, based on the experience that we have, when I left Nigeria Union of Teachers, my workers, they don't owe pension, they don't owe gratuity. I have handed over with a clean slate for somebody that take over from me. So I know what it means for a worker if he didn't get his benefit after retiring from the service. So that is why in Kebbi State we are doing our best, and we'll make sure that we continue to consolidate and ensure that our people get what is due for them.
Healthcare is another big topic, generally in the world of work or in any facet of life that you find yourself in. Would you want to share with us if you have any health insurance plan for an average Kebbi worker?
Yes, we have. We have Kebbi State Contributory Pension Scheme, Kachema, where workers and the government are contributing money for the Kachema to take care of the families of the worker. And also we have Kebbi State Drug Revolving Fund, where government will purchase drugs in bulk and share it to our hospitals, and our hospital will now sell it to our people within
Subsidized
a
rate?
subsidized rate, so that we'll be able to assist our people. And in the health sector, you can see, if you visited Argungu, you can see how we upgrade that general hospital. We have, and there are other general hospitals, because we feel maybe in Yauri, when there is a problem from Ingaski and Shanga local government, every one of them will try to bring transport patient or to Benin Kebbi, either side here, specialist hospital or federal medical center. All these two hospitals have been overstretched. So that is why we awarded total rehabilitations and supply of equipment to General Hospital Yauri, General Hospital Zuru, Arugungu, and here in Benin Kebbi. So that in those Yauri catchment area, they shouldn't have transport patient from that place to Benin Kebbi. That General Hospital Yauri, we now take it like a referral hospital. Whatever you get here in Benin Kebbi, you get it there. So you don't need to travel all the way from those areas to Benin Kebbi. At times when you come to this medical center and say, you see patient lying down on their floor because the facilities have been overstretched. No bed. So that is why we came up with this innovation to ensure that we reduce that overstretching of these places. We have started. You can go to Argungu, you see it, and we are now moving to Zuru. We have done Sayahaya. So after we go to our taking them one by one. When we finish the total rehabilitation, we will now put equipment, modern equipment that are needed.
Finally, unemployment seems to be the order of the day, not just in Nigeria, in Africa and across the world. What is the Kebbi State government doing to ensure that we have not just people coming into the system, but young workers, being injected into the system in terms of employment, be it at the private level or at the public sector?
Government cannot give everybody employment. That is why we are building skill acquisition centers, so that young men and women will be able to go to those places. In those where we have those skill acquisition centers, they will be trained by experts. When they finish, government will come out with a package that will give them so that they can stand on their own. Let me also tell you that Kebbi State, when I came, a lot of doctors are running away from our hospitals because the pay rise, what doctors in the Federal Medical Center and Osman Danfodio University are receiving is far above what they are receiving. So if there is any time when there is employment, our doctors are running away to go to those hospitals. I put a committee and our nurses. I put a committee. And the committee came off. I said, I want to know why these our doctors are running away from state hospitals. And they said because of the salary disparity. There are differences between a doctor of Kebbi State and the Federal Medical Center doctor, the salary disparity is about 110, so 150 highest. I said, if this thing is the thing that is making these young doctors to run away, I have agreed that every doctor will enjoy what the Federal Medical Center doctors are doing.
Great work you're doing, I must say. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.